How's it going, everyone? In today's video, I wanted to finally review the Swift springs that we put on the S2000. You guys can probably tell from the title, we went to a track and had a track day. The car handled phenomenal, you guys. Like, it stayed flat most of the corners.
Go, buddy! Woo-hoo-hoo!
Handling was never an issue. The car tracked well, it stayed flat, like I said. With the tires, the suspension, the aero, we had a ton of grip in the corners, and I have zero complaints. I mean, the coilovers that we have on the car are like $350 Buddy Club coilovers that we got used, and putting those Swift springs on there, it is just, the handling is incredible. So that was never an issue. And I also double checked when we were driving on the track at speed how our ride height was sitting. I would technically like to have it a little bit lower, but with the added downforce of this big spoon wing, I kind of made the ride height a little bit higher just in anticipation of there being added downforce in the back, because I didn't want it to be squatted down too much. I do like my cars to sit lower aesthetically. I like it better, but I mean, the car is not a monster truck by any means. You can see the fender gap in the front, but with them, like, we were tossing the car into the corner and it never hit anywhere. I mean, looking at some pictures of the car on the track, that front splitter got pretty close to the ground, even though it's probably, I would say, like 3 inches off the ground. Probably, if there's some truck guys watching, they'll think that's pretty low to the ground, but for cars, it's not really that close to the ground. So let me do a quick walk around, talk a little bit more about the setup and how it worked. So again, Swift springs hooked it up, and this was the ride height we had. Like I said, it is about 3, maybe even more, honestly, 3 inches or so off the ground from the splitter. And going around the corners, like, that got pretty close to the ground. I think if we went any closer or lower, it probably would start to rub. I think the front I'm pretty happy with. I mean, it's, like I said, it's not sitting on the ground, but it's got sufficient clearance there that we can go around the corners. I threw it into the corners as hard as you probably ever would, and it held. As far as the tire wear goes, these were brand new when we went, and you can see they're pretty shredded. There's still a ton of life left, of course, but we were definitely using these tires. And in the back, here's the ride height. So this is what I was saying. I would like to chop a little bit of ride height out of this, but honestly, looking at it in retrospect, it doesn't look all that bad. I don't know, for some reason, there's something in me that wants it to sit a little bit lower. Yeah, the downforce played a huge factor and really helped. So yeah, overall, it worked great. And also, as far as Swift spring goes, we're gonna probably put some Swift springs on this next. So I was gonna chop a bit of the ride height out of this just because I wanted it to sit a little, like the stance to be a bit more aggressive, but we're probably gonna go a little bit stiffer springs so that when I lower it a little bit, it's gonna be stiffer. That will sacrifice, ride quality, but I won't have to worry as much about the wheel traveling and making contact with the fender if I have stiffer springs. Also, handling will be better with stiffer springs, but again, ride quality may suffer a little bit with having stiffer springs in there. It's going to be a lot more of the, imperfections in the road will be transferred to inside the car and to the driver or passenger in that case. So as far as suspension goes, I'm going to be still dialing it in. Like I said, we just went out and got our feet wet in the S2000. It handled great, and I really didn't have to touch it all day. There's something called corner weight balancing that you guys might be familiar with, where you'll actually take it somewhere and they'll apply more pressure and whatnots on different corners of the car. Right now, I pretty much have it just balanced, and I didn't even play with the clickers. So these Coilovers actually have adjustment for how stiff the dampener is, and I didn't even adjust them the whole time. I was just too busy having fun and getting used to things, but it still handled great, and we didn't even try to dial things in too much. So all that is going to be to come, playing with the suspension, and also, like I said, we're going to be doing something as well with Swift on the Viper, and who knows, maybe I'll get some sticky rubber on the Viper. At this point, I kind of want some new tires on this, but maybe we'll make another track attempt on the Viper. I have tracked the Viper in the past. If you guys haven't checked out those videos, maybe I'll link them in the description below. We've tracked the Viper twice now. Yeah, I think twice. So we've taken it to an all-cross day. We've also taken it to Streets of Willow at Button Willow. And it's been fun both times, but just a more expensive car to track. Tires are more, brakes are more, all that good stuff. So anyways, you guys, if you thought this video was informative, please give it a thumbs up. Any questions you have on suspension setup, whether it's the Swift springs or anything of that nature, coilovers, be sure to ask your question in the comments below, and I'll do my best to answer it, or I can try to find an answer out for you. That's what I'm here for. That's kind of what I want this YouTube to be, is a bit of community. And any questions, hopefully we can work together. Usually there's other people in the comments that are quite knowledgeable as well, that together we can come up with a solution and give some answers to. Anyways, guys, see you on the next video. Take care.